You like support that with me. Like this is an issue in relationships with ADHD. I feel like the impulsive behaviors that are like, I have to do this right now, or I want to do this. We're going to do it right now. I feel like we're both like that. And so that is wonderful. I love that. Like we both are like, you're like, I bought 6 pairs of shoes last night. I don't know. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, I bought 800 things I'll never wear.
I've never bought 6 pairs of shoes at a time.
Not at a time, but like we buy things impulsively all the time. Yesterday, you're like yesterday.
Roomba was the thing I just mentioned. Yeah.
Well, yesterday you're like, I want a coffee table for the backyard patio area. You found one you liked, and you're like, well, I can order it and it'll be here in a few days, but like, or I can call. I can go get it right now.
You don't have it. I'm gonna go get it right now. The one near us.
You needed it right now.
But I can go to the one in Santa Monica.
You needed it right now. And I love that. Because, and you're like that with everything. If you need a plant for a certain area of the house, is like, we're going right now. We have to do the plant.
You were saying projects. When I'm doing projects, these are not things that take a long, like I need.
You need
once
to
I
finish
start a project, I'm like, I need to start it.
Yeah.
And then finish it like in a go.
Yeah. So I love all of these things.
Diagnose that. Somebody. Doctors. All the doctors listening to this.
There's so many wonderful things about you. So those are just a couple of the like relationship centered questions. So if you guys want to know more, we can, if we ever do another episode where you guys get to, plan the whole thing, that would be a good thing to do. Just, give us specific questions and we can talk about these things.
This was an impulse buy. This was just an Instagram
I love that.
ad of a sweatshirt, a Champion sweatshirt that just says plants.
I love it.
And I was like, immediately needed to buy it.
I love it. And you know what's helping our impulse buying so much?
Is it the Calm app?
No.
Oh, it's okay.
No, but something that's helping us so much with all of our impulse buying. Stitch Fix.
Yeah.
Stitch Fix is a classic.
Then I don't even have to think about it.
It's so good. Stitch Fix is awesome. Shopping for new clothes can be needlessly stressful. So why not let Stitch Fix make it easy by doing the work for you so you can spend time doing the things you love instead, like playing with plants and making coffee tables and things, You need you need your time.
Coffee tables. Can I get a personal shopper through this?
You certainly can.
Like a stylist?
You know how I know? You have one that has been sending us stuff every month.
That's true.
Stitch Fix offers clothing hand-selected by expert stylists for your unique style, size, and budget. It's a completely different and fun way to find clothes that you will love to wear. Every piece is chosen for your fit and your life, and it's the easy solution to finding what makes you look and feel your best. And it does. You look super cute in those clothes, Lovey. Try on pieces at home before.
It's a good episode. I feel like it's just lots of compliments for me.
Try on pieces at home before you buy. Keep what you love and return what you don't. Stitch Fix has free shipping, easy returns and exchanges, and a prepaid return envelope is included. So this is amazing. I hate returning clothes that I don't like. When I buy clothes online, they don't fit, or like especially right now, I'm growing. Like you guys, literally, this bump, it grows an inch a day. I swear to God. It's like my clothes. I'm growing out of my clothes like weekly. I have to get new stuff. And it's so frustrating when I can't return stuff. And Stitch Fix, they give you the prepaid labeled package just right. You just put it in and you send it back. It's so easy. It's amazing. I highly recommend. There's no subscription required. Mm-hmm. What were you going to say about that, Love?
Well, I was going to talk about the prepaid thing for returns. Like it literally comes with just a bag with the postage on it. Put the clothes you don't want in that bag, chuck it in a mailbox. You're done. Like you don't have to go anywhere.
It's amazing. There's no subscription required. Try Stitch Fix once or set up automatic deliveries. You'll pay just a $20 styling fee for each box, which gets credited toward pieces you keep. And there are no hidden fees ever. Stitch Fix has styles and clothing to fit any occasion for women, men, and kids. They ship all over the US and they're available in the UK as well. So get started today at stitchfix.com/relax and you'll get 25% off when you keep everything in your fix. That's stitchfix.com/relax for 25% off when you keep everything in your fix. Stitchfix.com/relax. Okay, so the majority of the tweets that we got about this episode were about our relationship, but we did get some other fun stuff. One I really liked was someone said, tell us your best and worst celebrity encounters. I've had a lot of celebrity encounters. So has Erik.
Same, yeah.
And I feel like I've told most of mine online, but I will say this. I haven't met that many that were bad. Everyone, Jerry Seinfeld, sweetest, most amazing guy ever. Jimmy Fallon, incredibly kind, wonderful, hilarious, sweet. Rosie O'Donnell was amazing. I mean, I feel like the list, I got to work with Fifth Harmony, like all those girls, and they were all really nice and wonderful. I literally can't even think of a celebrity that was mean. I know that when I hosted The View, I'm going to give you some tea. When I hosted The View.
I don't think I've seen that.
You don't want to see it. I don't think
Did
I've
you do it
seen
multiple
it.
times or just one time?
Just once. I co-hosted. It was terrifyingly stressful. I was very nervous.
I want to watch that.
I don't remember like specifics because I block out bad memories from my brain. But Rosie O'Donnell was delectably wonderful, like lovely, so kind. Like she was so kind to me. And
she seems like that's nice to hear.
All of the other girls were not.
Yeah.
And I don't
I don't know. Yeah, we don't have to say
I don't know.
name.
We're not going to say anyone's names. But like, they weren't like mean. So like no one like was mean to me, but it was just like very obvious. They did not care about me, didn't want me there, didn't want to have conversations with me. Just kind of like snooty, but they could have been having bad days. You have to get to set like 4:30 in the morning. Like they're exhausted. You know, I kind of chalked it up to like, they don't know who I am. They're probably just like this weird internet girls here. Like, this is annoying. Like, so I wasn't like offended or hurt by it, but like, they weren't kind. They weren't mean. They weren't kind. And honestly, the only people that are famous that have been like rude and awful have been YouTubers. And I've met some of the most amazing people in the universe through YouTube. Like I have some of the best friends in the world through YouTube that just
what are you talking about? Are
amazing. But there are people that I have, worked with on YouTube or like worked with on projects that were like unbelievably rude. And I hope I will never say that like who they are. Cause I don't want to like hurt anyone or like, make drama or whatever. But like, as far as like mainstream Hollywood celebrities, I've never met one that was like super rude to me ever.
Yeah, no,
have you?
Me neither really. No, I mean, in the professional sense. So I've been in LA for over 10 years and I've worked on a lot of sets and projects, and everyone, even when you're like kind of intimidated because they're kind of like the celebrity, they're number one on the call sheet, like, and then they always end up being the nicest, sweetest person. There has been times where someone like for sure like doesn't know their lines or isn't as prepared as everyone else. But that doesn't mean that might just be like their process. It doesn't mean that they were unkind or mean to me. There really is no memory of a celebrity in the sense being rude or mean to me.
Who are
that
some
I
good
think
positive
of,
like experiences you have with celebrities?
It's hard to think just like off the top of my head.
Because everyone knows mine. I've talked about them online.
Yeah. Okay. Can I say that you are and have been, and I knew this, you're not famously friends with, but like you're friends with like the biggest pop star on the planet,
Ariana Grande.
Yeah. And I knew that, and you had been on, I think, a couple times.
I was friends with her before she was famous. Like,
yeah, no, sure.
I mean, she was kind of famous, but like not like famous.
But she was pretty famous. And
she was like on Broadway,
and her brother, who I'd met, and he worked on Haters Back Off. But it had been a thing that was like, oh wow, yeah, she's friends with Ariana Grande. That's crazy. And you had FaceTimed with her had been FaceTime with her and been like, oh, say hi to my friend. And I was like, oh, you know what I mean? Like to me, it was like a little bit stressful and anxiety inducing the first time and only time I think that I met her, that you were like, oh, we're going to go to her concert at the Forum in LA and we're going to go backstage. Like I was just like, oh, okay. But then I was like, in my mind, I was like, this is a bit intense. This is a bit intense. And I've been in other circumstances like that.
Yeah.
But
what'd you think of her?
But she was so nice and friendly and great. And like, I even at the beginning of like, when we were like backstage and it's a huge concert, and like I don't know what that's like, but I know before I have to had done a performance of like a play or something, like I just want to be alone in my space. And like, so you guys were talking, I was like, should I leave so you guys can catch up and just talk? And she was like, no, blah blah blah. And she was asking me questions about myself. She was so nice. And then
yeah,
I mean, we had just had Flynn probably a number of months before, and I had to like run out to the car to get your breast pump.
Yeah, they turned her dressing room into like a room for me to pump. Like the Grandes are wonderful. Ariana is so
nice. And so like I had to like have her personal security let me go outside to get your breast pump from our car, but then make sure that I could get back in. And then when I walked back in, one of the Kardashians was right at the doorway to her dressing room.
Kourtney Kardashian.
Yeah, and she was
kind of rude, but like I loved it.
Yeah, and then we were just
not
sitting
like
there.
I feel like I need to clarify. I'm really sorry to interrupt you. Just let me clarify really fast.
Please go ahead.
She wasn't like rude. It was just like Ari was like, "These are my friends, Colleen and Erik," and she's like, "Hi." And like it just turned her back to us, and I was like, "Yes." And she kind of shaded us, but like, and I would too. She was fine. She was kind of rude, but like, and like I loved it kind of way. Like I was kind of living for it.
It was just kind of. I was like, I got to run to this parking lot to get a breast pump, and when I walked back in, she was standing in the doorway, and I was like, "Excuse me," as I have to get by. And then so I come in, and I'm holding a breast pump, literally in my hands, and there's all these famous people in her dressing room, and then. Here I am holding this breast pump, and then you start pumping, and then in that moment,
I don't care. I'm just like in front of all these famous
she then
people
is
I don't
playing
know.
new
Like,
songs that the world has not heard yet.
Yes, it was so
that
exciting.
even these famous, powerful people are hearing for the first time with us sitting there also like
pumping
and you're pumping, and then it was like, and then we got to enjoy the concert. That was interesting. There was like a phase when I first moved to LA. And me and my friends, like we were all kind of new here and figuring it out. There was a phase of like going to like, oh, did you hear about this celebrity party? Like this celebrity's having a party.
You were one of those?
No, I was not. I was the absolute opposite of one of those. But like I had a group of friends and they would be like, we're going to this party. And then we would get to the party. And then I would find out that it was like, not like sneaking in, but someone knew somebody who knew someone. And so like, oh yeah, it's cool. Like everyone's going to this party, like, and it was always incredibly awkward, and I always
whose houses
hated it.
Who did you go to?
There was one time, it was like the middle of the day, and it was like, oh, there's a pool party just over the hill, like off Ventura. Like, oh yeah, let's all go to a pool party. Like we didn't have a pool. Like I was just living with my like roommates, like in this tiny little house in Venice.
And who was the party?
And it was Jared Leto's house, and he was having a pool party, but it was essentially just Jared Leto.
Who's Jared Leto?
He's a very famous actor. You don't know who he's like?
No, I know his name. I've heard his name.
He's an Academy Award winning actor.
Because you've told me this story many times.
So he's very famous from My So-Called Life. He was.
I didn't see that.
On that, and then he played like the Joker in those DC movies.
I don't watch
like,
those.
And then he won an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor for Dallas Buyers Club.
I think I saw that. Isn't Matthew McConaughey in that?
He is. He also won an Oscar for that as lead actor. But like, he's a
don't
very
know.
handsome man, longer hair usually.
Okay.
American Psycho. Have you seen that movie?
I don't think so.
Wow, really?
I'm sorry. Jared Leto? Yeah, you've always
No, it's
told
funny.
us-
I think you interviewed
okay.
him as Miranda for like that MTV
I
Movie Awards
did.
thing.
Oh, that's where I know him.
And we showed up to this pool
I thought
party.
he was a musician.
He is.
Oh.
He also has a band.
Okay, so that's how I interviewed him. He was like,
yeah, I
with his
think
band.
that's after his acting career.
How
was
embarrassing. I'm so
extremely
sorry. I'm so
successful.
glad he will never watch this.
But me and my roommates, because one of my roommates was an assistant at this management company, knew a girl who was like also an assistant at this company that somehow got invited to this pool party. And she was like, you guys should come. And we went there, and there was like security at this gate to this like mansion with this giant pool, these big stairs. When you first walked in, these big stairs like to the pool. And I remember we got there, and it was just like him and like two buddies, and then just so many girls, but like no other guys. And then these four guys show up to this pool party, and I was just like, oh, we're not famous. We don't know him. Like, I didn't know this is where we were going. We're immediately going to get kicked out. And he came straight up to us at the bottom of the stairs, and I was like, oh, this is him being like literally being like, oh, like, what are you doing here at my house? And he was so inviting and nice.
Oh,
And
that's
was
so
instantly
nice.
come sit down, come enjoy. There's food over here. There's drinks. You know what I
Aw.
mean? Like, get in the pool. Like, he was so nice. It's so unexpected. And then another time, there was like in this phase, which was very short lived. There was another party that we went to in the hills. Like, oh, it's just this big party. We're going to this party. Like, oh, okay, we're going to this party tonight. And remember, we drove to this house way up in the hills, like. The Hollywood sign was right over it. Like, it looked like it was like in your face. And there was like valet parking at a party, which is my first experience. We're like, what do you mean we're at this house? Why is there valet parking? Like, what is Los Angeles, California? And then we get out of the car and we go, there was like security and like, but someone knew someone that like we were allowed into this party. And I slowly realized that everyone is kind of in costume.
Mm-hmm.
either as a cowboy or a Native American.